Hey there. After the amazing success of my last video featuring the South Devon Railway and Pannier Tank 6412, I felt I needed to make this follow-up to pass on some extra history and details that I discovered. As before, we'll stay with the Heritage Railway theme, and to that end our first train is an empty stop working, headed by a lovely Bachmann Class 24. The importance of diesel locomotives to the Heritage Railway cannot be underestimated, especially in these days of high costs. The small diesels of British Railways provide an economic way of running off-peak services and carrying out internal duties. D5149 would have been an excellent loco for a Heritage Railway. However, while new in February 1961, this locomotive would be withdrawn in April 1973, a very short life indeed. Here she is shunting a Great Western push-pull, or auto coach, into the yard, ready for Pannier Tank 6412 to join up to. Now complete, sandwiched between two auto coaches, 6412 moves forward. Shunting done, D5149 departs and rejoins the remainder of its train before heading off. Built in Swindon in 1934, she was one of a 40-strong fleet of 6400 class locos of CV Collett design. Unlike most of the 1,000 or so Pannier tanks built by the Great Western over the years for shunting, short-haul freight and light passenger duties, the 6400 class was specifically fitted for working push-pull or auto trains. 6412 is one of 3 members of the class to have been purchased for preservation and arrived at Buckfastleigh in the mid-1960s, along with fellow class members 6430 and 6435, straight from service with the Western region of British Railways. Had the honour of hauling the first train to run on the South Devon Railway, then called the Dart Valley Railway, on reopening day on the 5th of April 1969. No stranger to the cameras, 6412 gained stardom as the Flockton Flyer in the 1977 children's television programme. By the way, I'm trying out a slightly different lighting and camera setting arrangement. How's it working out for you? Let me know in the comments. Now let's move on to a locomotive you no doubt saw in my previous video, but that received no running or exposure. We're going to set that right immediately. The 5700 class was the Great Western standard type of pannier tank locomotive. They were designed for shunting and light goods work. 5757 here is a member of the class. The Great Western built a staggering 863 5700 class locomotives. Our loco was built at Swindon between 1929 and 1930. She ended up being sold to London Transport and became L91 and was used between December 1960 and December 1967. In later days the 5700 class got everywhere, such was their success. Some examples of their locations away from the Western region are Weymouth, where they operated the branch line to Portland. 6 were allocated to Nine Elms and worked empty stop between Waterloo and Clapham Junction, replacing the M7 class. The line from Folkestone Harbour Station to Folkestone Junction was always problematic when hauling heavy boat trains up the 1 in 36 incline. 6 5700s were allocated to Dover for this working. Now here's a story involving a 5700 class, this time 7758, a Midlands area locomotive for most of its life. On the 26th of August 1940, the loco would play a part in a heroic wartime endeavour, resulting in wartime medals being issued to staff. Here's what happened. At 11 p.m, a bomb fell into the road near a timber yard next to Bawdsley Railway Yard in Birmingham. A young cleaner named Peter Smelt, aged 17, on hearing the bombs falling left his cabin and immediately commenced dealing with the incendiaries, using his hands and feet to cover them with ballast. He then volunteered to take a locomotive along the blazing goods shed, although bombs were still falling, and draw out wagons to safety. The loco he used was 7758 that was only partly in steam, having just been disposed of. Assisted by others, Smelt, not yet passed on driving, used the locomotive to draw out wagons from the now blazing shed to safety. The locomotive became too hot to touch on one side of the footplate due to the heat of the fires. I'll put a link in the video's description box if you'd like to go and read the full account of this heroic story. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please let me know in the comments.